Buddy, welcome. This is Real Estate Uncensored. We have an amazing guest with us. We have TopHat. Now, if you guys don't know what TopHat is just yet, we have an amazing couple of guests. We're going to Lex go into the back area. He's going to be taking some avid notes. So you guys are going to reach out, have any questions. Lex with TopHat is going to be your go-to guy. So Lex, we'll see you on the flip side, but we're going to bring on in Anton, one of the founders here very quickly. But I gotta bring in Nick because on our pre-show we were having a funny story about something where you pulled a oh shit moment. So tell us a little bit about your oh shit moment as a husband.
It's like the dichotomy at your house, right? You do stupid shit. People come to me, pay me lots of money every single day to extract knowledge out of my brain and find me very intelligent when it comes to business and marketing. And then I come home and I do stupid shit at home. My wife's like, "Are you the biggest idiot that anybody's ever seen?" Like, so here's what happened. We're all playing lottery. Everybody, I mean, it's fun, right?
Oh yeah,
fun coupons as what was that one movie? Anyway, so there was 2 tickets. Wife told me, she goes, "Hey, I bought these lottery tickets. 2 of them were like $4 winners. Go ahead next time you go to Publix and just get the $4 and go get some more tickets." So there's 2 piles on the table. I walk by the table. I get the 5 tickets that are not winners and take that to Publix. And I scan them, and I'm arguing with the lady at Publix, like, "No, they have to be winners." My wife told me they have to be winners. She's like, "No, sir, there's no winners here." So I get home, I'm like, "Why would you send me to Publix? I look like an idiot with no ticket." She goes, "You are an idiot because the other stack was the 2 winners were right here that you need to move 1 piece of paper." To which my argument back was, "Why would you keep the losers?
Yeah.
Why have 2 stacks? Why aren't the 5 losers right in the garbage?" Anyway, a glimpse into married life. You've been with somebody for 10 plus years. It's always interesting and fun. So if you're that person, go ahead and put in the comments. Maybe we'll have some guest stories from people, but I just thought it was entertaining.
That is one hell of a way to start off a podcast. But I feel bad for you. I do the same damn thing. But we have Anton in here. He's the founder of TopHap. And so, Anton, I want you to come on in, introduce yourself, give us the brief back history of TopHap, and let's talk about what you're doing, and where you're going to be going, how you're going to be changing the industry as a whole. So, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it. So, my name is Anton Danilovich. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of TopHap. TopHap stands for Top Homes and Properties, and we are a data visualization platform that aids in real estate research. And the way this came about was as a real estate agent of 15 years before starting TopHap, I was having a lot of issues assessing areas that I wasn't familiar with. I work with a lot of builders and investors. I've developed and invested into real estate for many years on my own. And there was always a challenge in assessing an opportunity in an area that, as a real estate agent, I wasn't familiar with. As real estate agents, as investors, appraisers, and anybody within the real estate field, we're highly localized based on the region that we serve. We start our journey in a specific city and we grow within it. And even 10, 15 years into our career, if we are faced to assess a property in an area that we're not familiar with, which, by the way, could be 3 or 4 or 5 miles away, it doesn't have to be that far, you feel like you're fish out of water. And at that time, I was desperately looking for solutions that would help me assess properties in different parts of California. That's where we're from, different parts of the nation, and they just didn't exist. So out of my own, pain, I got together with my good friend Dennis, and who is my co-founder and our CTO, and we started brainstorming ideas around, a platform that helps aid with real estate research and allows you to quickly understand any market, and that's what we've done at the very basic level.
Yeah, it's a fascinating product. It really, when the ads were running, I didn't know that you were behind it. It really intrigued me because you built it out in hexagons. And so anyone who's done any kind of mapping, everything on the map is done in a hexagon. And so it's really unique how in depth you guys can look. One of the things I want to talk about it, and then I want to kind of go over some of the other products and different things. And Nick, this is going to pertain to you. So when I was talking with Anton, it's like, dude, you got to show me everything about this product. He's like, okay, not a problem. So he got me signed in, got my subscription up and running. And then he's like, okay, look at this. Let's say you're in Danville, California, and you want to move to Florida. right? I want to live right next to Nick in Florida. Well, you could take my characteristics of my home and then search in your area. Now, Anton, am I misspeaking on that, or is that what I understood it to be? Is that correct?
Yeah, so let me kind of double click into that. What we've done is we've created around 200 different filter search criteria. So you can search the entire nation by a lot more than just your basic property size and lot size and values. You can now include things like lot slope, schools, hazards, noise, walkability, all of these data points that make us feel a certain way about a location, and that's why we're drawn to specific areas. We've now digitized it and give you an ability to search for similar locations that you're looking for specifically in regions you're not familiar with.
And that's one of the things about you're talking about, like when you don't know in a neighborhood, like you spoke about earlier. I have 2 new listings, and they're in neighborhoods that I traditionally do not sell a lot of homes in, and utilizing Top Apps and its ability to really understand the slope of the area, what's going on, the valuations, noise implications and impacts. You name it, it's there. And I was able to very easily and very quickly, by the way, be able to come back with a value saying, look, based upon these data points, and I rip down the different data points, my guesstimation based upon comps, so on and so forth, your home could be worth X, Y, and Z based upon the last couple of those sold. And it's not me guessing or me kind of feeling my way through it with Braille. I actually had something there concrete that can create a report and then send out to the client going, this is what I was talking about. And the reports are wonderful. They have QR codes all over them, so you can take your phone and zap it and get more information. It's very, very intuitive, to the point where TopHap right now has been able to white label their systems for all of Realtor.com. So you guys, Realtor.com is using TopHap in their systems because it's so in depth and so on point for everything that us agents need in a trending, turning industry where it's becoming more that we're just all tech industry and tech people that make commercials that maybe every once in a while sell houses. And so Anton and TopHap are really solving one of those problems. Nick, I see you licking your lips. What's up?
Yeah, dude, I have so many questions because that was my first. Well, I'll let Anton. You look like you're getting ready to.
Yeah, let me just one clarification. We are
Please.
going through an integration process with Realtor.com for our mapping component. So the data, some of the data will be presented on the Realtor.com map, including the heat map layers and things like that. So that test actually is supposed to be starting today, and is going to be ongoing for about 4 weeks. And we're in conversation with in other matters as well.
So for everyone who's listening to this later, this is taking place on 7/19 of 23. So if you guys are listening to it live, skim over there and check it out.
Breaking news, only from REU.
So Nick, lay it on us, buddy.
Yeah. So when you first started talking about that, I haven't had as much experience. I didn't meet Anton until right now, so I haven't gone through the whole platform. I looked at it from a forward-facing view. Like, my first thought process when I saw this system, and I know you've geared it towards real estate, I had 2 thoughts in my mind. One was, this looks like a product that insurance companies should use to, like, hey, let's assess the risk of these different areas. So I was like, that's the first question. When Greg told me we're having this guy on, I'm like, have you asked him if he's in the insurance space? Because that seems like a no-brainer. I'm obviously not telling him anything he probably doesn't know, but that was where my head went first. And then now you're explaining the more detailed view. I think that's so powerful from a consumer side. Like, us as real estate agents, if I, in my marketing hat, my advertising hat directly goes on directly. Like, if I'm running ads for relocation, right? YouTube pre-roll is really good for that. Even we do Facebook ads for relocation. If I'm advertising to somebody who's out of state, how can I become the absolute authority? I let that person know that every single thing that you're accustomed to in your area that you love, I can identify and show you like that. Mm-hmm. Right. So there isn't going to be other agents that are going to be advertising that level of detail. And so that's why just immediately that's where my head goes as a marketer. How can I utilize this TopHap? And it's funny you said, I keep thinking Top Map because it's mapping data, and then you said Hap for anyway. So can you kind of expound on that? Do you guys sell this to insurance? Is that like a primary revenue generator, or are you really focused in just real estate agents and now this partnership with Realtor.com?
So, Nick, a great observation. Real estate research is what we came to market to aid with, but research for what, right?
Yeah.
Research and analysis around valuation, investment
Mhm.
opportunity, hazard, right? Like insurance. And the common thread through the different real estate verticals that we can serve is the research and analysis aspect that we assist with. So even though we're not focusing on insurance companies yet, we will as the company matures and grows into other real estate verticals that we're going to go after.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
now, we're working with appraisers, lenders, banks, real estate agents, investors, and insurance is a vertical I do want to focus on in a near term.
Yeah. It seems like
So
it'd be a no-brainer.
If
Right.
it's it's
Yeah.
a very obvious application.
Yeah.
you know what? I'm glad you guys brought this up right now because I've been looking for a good calculator, a good evaluator for investors. I have my little black book of leads I get from doing my cold calls on a daily basis. And I have on this one sheet in front of me, I have one, two, three. I have four investors right here looking for 4 units, 2 units to 4 units, looking to spend some big money. So I appreciate that. And I'm going to go deeper with Anton and Lex off air on how to use this because I think that is an incredible tool when you do calls and you do marketing. You're going to pick up all types of different people. And it's better to go to one tool than going to multiple tools to get the same result and do it in a shorter amount of time. So what is TopHap right now from its inception? Kind of what have you guys seen as kind of the natural progression and growth, and what's something that kind of surprised you, if there is one, that you found that agents like and was easy to provide for them, or any kind of information like that?
So, the one thing that surprised us is actually inbound demand from other prop tech companies that
Hmm.
were interested in parts of our product as a deliverable. So the maps, the heat map layers,
Mhm.
our data, our APIs, and other things. So what we've done over the course of the last 8 to 10 months at this point is actually componentized different parts of our own product and now offer it as separate products to other
Oh,
developers that are
nice,
building tools on their own. So
So
nice.
that was
that's kind of
really
my question is, do you view yourself more as an enterprise solution or more direct to realtor? Like if I'm a realtor listening to this podcast, I'm like, this sounds cool, but what exactly can I use this for right now to get more leads and sales in my business? Like, or should I just wait for Chime to get this integrated or another, IDX
no.
company that I work with?
So we have we call it the consumer facing product, which is TopHap Studio, which is
Hmm.
great. This is what you've been playing around with, and this is what
Okay.
we're talking about here. And that's individual agents can hop on, sign up, they can invite their customers onto the platform, and then get involved in this type of data analytical research process.
Okay, so time out
Where
real quick. So you invite your customers
you
so
could,
you
yes.
can share the platform as
Hmm.
Greg McDaniel is inviting you to this advanced
Correct,
research tool, right?
correct,
Okay,
correct,
so that makes sense. Perfect.
correct. And what this allows you to do is, well, let me give you an example. I am touring a 150-acre parcel with an investor customer of mine, and it's a event space, and plus they grow wine there. And we go up to this city called Cool, California. It's
I know,
probably,
cool.
yeah, near Sacramento.
Does it still only have one stop sign, or do they actually get a stoplight these days?
I think they just put the stop sign in.
Okay. I had
um,
a friend that lived there, so I actually know where cool is.
yeah. So we meet the listing agent, and she loads us up in this little 4-person golf cart, and we're touring the property. And through this maybe 30 to 45-minute tour, my client is asking various questions. Hey, who are the neighbors to the left and to the right of me? And how long have they been there for?
Mm.
Well, I'm in the back with my phone with TopHap open, and I'm just scrolling through the different sections of the property detail page, and I'm naming off who the owners are to the left, to the right, how long they've been there for. Oh, this is a trust, this is an LLC. Okay. The listing agent can answer those questions on the fly. She doesn't know. She doesn't have TopHap. As
Yeah,
we
yeah.
Mhm.
continue on, he's wondering, tell me about the permit activity on this property. What was the last permit pulled? Give me the details. Again, I'm going through TopHap, right? I'm answering these questions. We get to a corner of the lot. Where's the boundary? How far away is the lot bound you from where we're standing. Again, I pull up on TopHap. I can answer these questions. And there was probably another 7 or 8 other examples of him just being curious about the subject property itself and the surrounding neighbors. And finally, the listing agent looks back and says, "How are you answering all of this? You know more about this property than I do." And I said, "Well, I'm on TopHap. Let me tell you what it is." So
and that's when your teeth, there's a little rainbow, like that's the
yeah.
commercial, right?
So what happens here is sure, real estate agents can go out to different sources at different times and pull this information in and follow up with an email to answer all those questions at a later date. But the power of TopHap, or one of the value propositions, is all of the data is in one place. It's all in your phone, in your hand. So any
That's
question
awesome.
that your customer might have, you can actually start the conversation now instead of writing it down and getting back to them.
It's
So-
like the attach. So like, if you had access to all the attached documents to a listing to pull up immediately, that's
Mhm.
usually where you find the question, right? If you're a buyer and you're showing a property and you don't know, it's always like the first response is, well, let me check the attached addendums on the property when we get back home, and I'll tell you all the information you need to know, right? Like you
And
have all the
you know-
addendums now through this app. It's like there.
It's and where this is going, it's actually a good segue to jump ahead, and then we'll come back. Is our AI that we're launching within the next couple of weeks. I won't even need to scroll through the property detail page anymore. I'll be able to ask it simple questions in natural language.
Oh my God. This is a
So-
no freaking brainer. Are you kidding me? That is okay. So we're talking about success stories using TopHap. And guys, if you're going to listen to this, go to the Apple Store or Android store and pick up his TopHap Explorer. You can download it. One of the coolest things I love, which I used the other day, was out walking in a neighborhood and I saw this property that really needs some help. They have properties with the buildings, you can push them where they fall over, and there's chain link fence around the properties. That one, no address. Jumped on TopHap. Because what you can do there, when you point the top of your phone towards a property, it'll pick up that property. Then you can hit this button that says fly around. So it goes up, goes 3D, flies around the property. So I got to see the whole property and where the boundaries were instantaneously with the information about the listing. So
That's
guess what I
crazy.
did? I reached out to the listing agent and I'm like, dude, or the owner now, and I said, dude, what are you doing with this? You bought it in 2009. You haven't done anything with this thing. I got investors who are looking to buy. I mean, you're obviously just burning time here. So let's put a deal together. And it was because I got to see the entire property, and that thing tickles me pink. I'm a door knocker. I always have been a door knocker. Cut my teeth door knocking. I don't have to guess anymore what's on the back side of a house anymore. I literally can see the entire thing. So if I have a client that might like this neighborhood, but they need a big backyard for a pool and a trampoline, and this guy's a tiny backyard but a big front yard, not going to fit. That's one of the simpler aspects of this app that I truly love because I'm a visual guy. So it's a very fun thing. And now I'll shut up and let Anton actually say something.
Yeah, let
important.
me
I
add
ramble.
to that. Let me add to that door knocking. One of the things you did is that you did the fly around, but you can also look at the owner info, how long they've been there for. Is there a mortgage on the property? What are the permits? Is it owner occupied? Is it out of the state owner, non-owner occupied? And many other things that you typically would have to go and research when you get to the office. It's all in the palm of your hand. And Greg, what you're referencing is with our app, the TopHap Explorer app, which is the companion version to the full blown tool you find on tophap.com. You simply point your phone at any property and it selects it, and you don't even need to type an address. Funny use cases, how many times have we been driving down the street and we see a for sale sign up? And typically you slow down, you got to make sure you write the address down. But you simply whip your phone out and point at that property and it'll select it. And it's a fun feature.
So every real estate agent needs a TopHap app.
Correct.
At the end of the day,
correct.
Like it already sounds like an unfair advantage. I don't have it on my phone yet. I'm going to download it literally.
Well, you should before the end of this show, Nick.
Yeah,
you know what's good for you.
It's going to happen.
My gosh.
Maybe let me spend a minute talking about the data set that powers all of this. So we have data for every single parcel in the nation: commercial, agricultural, residential. That doesn't matter what it is, and we have records in some cases going back to the 50s and the 60s. So it's a very comprehensive data library, and you can pull up your basic information around ownership, property characteristics, lot characteristics, schools, neighborhood information, and we've built a lot of proprietary data models on top of that. So data points like lot elevation, view potential, 3D topography, visualization, and census data where you can really understand what makes up a community, which is people. That's the most important thing, and many other data sets which equal to our 47 trillion record data library. So if we don't have a particular data point that you're looking for, it's probably very difficult to get, because we brought in Department of Transportation data, census data, permit data, loan data, foreclosure data, owner data, building data. All of this is available on TopHap.
So, why hasn't someone come out with this, like one of the big giant names in real estate tech? And I'm glad they haven't. Let me be very clear on that, because you guys are coming at it with consumer mindsets. You are a real estate agent, so you kind of think how we think. I mean, has tech just evolved, or is nobody did everybody just not look at such a phenomenal opportunity that obviously has come to fruition through you? Just why was it never done before? I'm just so curious on that one.
That's a good question. So it's a combination of a number of things. One of them is the technological ability to be able to do what we do with such amounts of data.
Yeah.
But even to be able to build a data warehouse that is able to access all of that data all at the same time as you're zooming around our map and the colors are changing, all of that is happening live. That performance is our secret sauce, is what we've been able to stitch together and create for an individual to interact with all of the data at the same time. Another important fact is, up until recently, and nobody's really done this after us, the real estate environment has always been really focused on lead generation. So a lot of these big
Guilty.
companies that are out there, like the Zillows and the Trulias and the Redfins, right, and the Realtors, they are phenomenal real estate catalogs of homes for sale. They show you what properties are available. They give you some basic information around the neighborhoods and the regions, but nobody's taking this investor grade approach into the research and analysis process like we have. So what we wanted to do is build, and I'm going to say this kind of laughing about it at this point, but the initial idea was a Zillow for investors.
Yeah.
And it grew into so much more than that. So it has to do with the organization's business model and use case focus, and nobody's really went after the research aspect for individuals. Similar tools probably do exist, within organizations where they keep them behind closed doors for very analytical analysis of, real estate opportunities or regions or markets. I mean, how do the Starbucks locations do their site selection? I'm sure they have internal teams doing some form of data science, like we've made it available to the public.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I mean, can you if you were to do an investment for like up to 4 units, 5 units, or whatever the number is, can you go in and analyze cap rates? Do you have rental data, rental rolls coming in? Is that integrated as well, or not?
So actually, that's the only thing we don't have right now. We don't have commercial lease comps.
Okay.
So we have individual rental data as far as single family resident properties go, up to 4 units. But
4
if
units,
if you're looking for a rental data on a building that's 4 units and up, we don't have that yet.
Way to go,
Okay,
Greg.
so-
The only thing he doesn't have, you have to bring up.
Well, I know I feel like a dick now, but thanks.
It's okay.
Jeez. But you know what? That actually really helps out a lot, because I mean, us as real estate agents, that's what I was saying. Look, we have kind of been more or less cut out of the investment side, because we've been trained since birth as a real estate agent that you sell 1 to 4 homes. This is all you sell. You never learn how to look through the investor lens. And so to get people kind of looking through the ROI, what are your rent roll? What are your cap rates? I mean, what are people looking for, right? And how the investors are viewing it. And if this makes it very simple for those 2 to 4 units. And now if there's professional grade stuff, and I'm sure TopHap will get there whenever they are ready to get there. but the data to learn how to talk effectively, efficiently, and with knowledge to investors buying 2 to 4 units is a massive, massive feather in your cap. I think that is the
Let,
coolest freaking thing.
let's talk about off-market property searching, right?
Let's
So
do
I
that.
I feel like that's, if I was to say, okay, a competitive advantage. And again, I'm speaking out of my ass because I don't know, I haven't tried the platform yet, but like that's the first place my mind goes. I'm with a customer, market's tight, you see what's available on Zillow. But I have this advanced solution where we can identify properties based on not just, hey, this was just listed or just reduced or bedrooms or bathrooms or whatever. Like, what's your lifestyle? What do you actually want? Let's identify 100, 200, 500 properties in the area that aren't actually even for sale, but we can identify them. And then I can help you as your professional advisor to market to those people, whether it's direct mail, cold calling. Hell, we can throw them in a Facebook ad audience and run some ads to them that you have a buyer looking for a property just like yours. Is that something that people are doing with this app?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the more popular use cases because what we've done is we give our user an ability to filter the entire area, every single parcel in that area, down by your specific filters, as you would
Yeah, yeah.
filter a active listings on a property. But in this case, instead of filtering active listings, you're filtering the entire area
That's
and the individual
powerful.
parcels.
That's I think we need to, like, you need to say that twice. So we can filter on all properties, not just active
Correct,
properties.
correct, correct. So let's say a
Let that
zip
sink
code.
in for a second, guys. Like,
Let's say let's say a zip code has 50,000 residential parcels, residential homes. You can filter every single that entire 50,000 parcel or 150 million nationwide. It doesn't matter which Zoom level.
yeah, yeah.
And now you
Hmm.
can say home that matches this type of a price point, this type of a lot, and lot size and characteristics. I don't want it to be in a noisy part of the neighborhood. I need it to be these specific schools and 200 or so other filters, and you can hit one simple button that says map filter heat map, and all of a sudden only the parcels that match your criteria light up, and then you can see the results on the left, and you can download it to CSV and
That's wild.
down.
Absolutely
Isn't that
wild. I love
awesome?
that. But
It,
I have a question. So the first
Yeah.
question is, I had all kinds of questions, but the first one is, the estimated value that you're searching, is that based on tax roll or is that based on estimated, like a Zestimate AVM score or something like that?
Correct, correct. We have a couple of different AVMs that we've been testing out, and always on have been always been on a hunt for a more accurate valuation number, and that actually led us on a journey to build our own AVM that we'll be launching within the next 60 to 90 days.
Nice.
I obviously, like most real estate agents, I have not utilized this tool to the limits or even close to the limits this is offering. When you guys see me looking down, it's not that I'm bored. I am actively taking notes on things that are popping into my brain because when I'm doing my cold calls or you're out door knocking or you get a postcard response or you get a ad sign call or a call from a Facebook ad or whatever, fill in the blank, you can at this point go to one source and answer in-depth questions that the buyers or the sellers don't even know to ask, but you can come across with actual knowledge that they can't get anywhere else with one click of a button, like Anton just said. Think about the time savings that this is most likely going to save for you if you use it. You can have, well, let me ask this, Anton, can you set up like different types of profiles, like an investor profile, a 1 to 4, a 2 to 4, can you set up different search queues or queries, I might say, where you don't have to really kind of do too much hunting and pecking, more generals, and then, kind of scrunch them down for the buyer or seller's needs? Can you do that?
Yeah, so Safe Search is probably will be released in the next 30 to 45 days. So we're working on it. We have
Very
safe
cool.
properties. We've also talked about creating different profile types based on your job role, as we call it.
Right.
But then that would require to limit some functionalities of the tool, depending on the job role that you're associating yourself within. But we just haven't done that. We feel like we want to offer all of these functionalities to everybody.
Yeah, this is so cool. I mean, it really comes down to like, what can't you do? That's the real question, and that's a very short list with probably 0 lines filled in so far from what we're hearing. Um, is this going to be something that is going to be a competitor for Zillow and Trulia and Redfin and Realtor and everything else? But Realtor, you're in business with. But I mean, are other people going to? Do you think they're going to make models like this to compete with you? Because once they see the power of this, and I guarantee you, the word's already spreading around these different these industry leaders, going though, like, dude, you got to take a look at this guy because he's doing something pretty cool. I mean, where do you guys think that
You
you're having
know,
competition?
yeah, at the surface, you would think so. But
Yeah.
as you dig a bit deeper into those individual business models, you'll see that they don't align with the UI experience that we offer. So, for example,
Interesting.
the big portals are into generating as much traffic and getting as many eyeballs on the ads that they're posting and getting as
Mm-hmm.
many hit contact agent type of thing. So the whole site is optimized for the user to connect with somebody through their
Yeah, yeah,
portal. We don't do that, right?
Mm.
Our focus is for you to get into the map and start clicking around. There's no advertising going on. So if they are to introduce what we do into their environments in the way that we do it, it's going to cannibalize what how they're existing, how they're making
Hmm.
money.
yeah.
Now,
You're like a blog before advertising, right? When it was cool,
there you go.
when you could actually
But
read something without a pop up. Anyway,
there you go. Exactly. But parts of us can be introduced into those environments. And that's the integration we're working on with realtor.com, where you could introduce a few data points, heat map layers here and there without disrupting the entire
right?
user flow of that organization, and have it be complementary and not take away from what they're doing. And at the end of the day, you got to think about the big guys, as I call them. They're online search portals. They're
Yeah,
here to
Hmm.
help you show you a property that just came up for sale, and you go ahead and get on this journey of research with your real estate agent or on your own. And we offer that research functionality. So their search, we're research.
So in the disc profile, I'm a high D and a high I. So I'm very direct and to the point, but I also like to be the social butterfly of an event, right? And so what I like about this is it gives me the ability with data that is bullet pointed for me to then go into a social setting and have something I can talk about very succinctly with what's going on in the marketplace around me with real numbers. And I can do it very quickly. And there's, I mean, the essence, the C personalities who want a long, drawn out explanation, this works well for them as well because you can go layer after layer after layer after layer after layer after layer of shit to the point where it's so refined. It's like it's a fine, fine piece of linen in regards to just the quality of what you're going to be able to give back to your clientele and to the marketplace. It's this is why I had to have you guys on, Anton. It's because I see the value on this thing. And I guess one of the real questions that a lot of folks are asking right now, if I have a CSV file, can I upload it and can your system tell me about that or those properties, like different attributes? I'm sure you can, right? Because it just mix and matching what you already have in your system, or is that not possible for the second time that I ask a question?
So actually, what we've done is we've created a CSV plugin where you don't even need to upload the properties into TopHap. You can bring the TopHap functionality to your CSV file. And
Well,
let's
ah,
say
like
hold
an
you,
on.
extension. So okay,
What? What? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Back the bus up here for the only non-techie here. What the heck did just came out of your mouth? What?
so I probably have a dozen of more of those for you, but that we'll need a few podcasts to talk about all the different integration functionalities that we offer. So let's say you are working within an Excel, spreadsheet, and
Mm-hmm.
let's say you have 100 addresses or 1,000 or 10,000. It doesn't matter. And based on your use case, you're looking for specific data points per property. Could be
Mm-hmm.
all lots with a 5% or less grade
Okay.
and 1 acres and ownership, this type of ownership time and value and whatever else, that you're looking to do. You can simply apply our formula, right, over those addresses. And you just highlight it and your whole sheet will be auto-populated with all of the data points that are only of interest to you.
whoa,
So,
Nick,
um,
you know exactly where my mind's going with this.
yeah.
That
Well,
is amazing.
So
Okay.
it's
Yeah, that I,
what's happening now is we've created this ability to take the power of TopHap and introduce it into our customers' environment.
yeah,
Could be Salesforce, could be Excel,
Yeah.
could be some other product, and we can now bring all of our data, you know, standard and non-standard, right, proprietary and publicly available, into your tool and power you on that front.
So
Can we? Yeah. Go ahead, Nick.
I
Sorry.
got one. So that immediately makes me think of my own like personal database, people that I already have sold in the past or just people that I know, right? I have their addresses. Can I run better than just home valuation reports or equity reports on a consistent basis to my people? A more like a really nerdy detailed report of like, here's the updated things that happened with your property in the past quarter, year, whatever, as like a drip. So I could say, hey, all these things at this school have changed, all these environmental things have changed, all the, that might infect your insurance. Like, is there anything like that from a reporting standpoint that can make you look like a pro with a button click or no?
Yeah, so now we're getting into the enterprise solutions where we do these type of custom, fulfill this type of custom requests because we have the data. We're a geospatial data science company,
Yeah.
and we focus on residential real estate with some commercial capabilities that we're growing into. So anything that you can really come up with, we can create a solution for.
Yeah, I think that would be like, listen, anytime you can make a real estate agent look good, you're going to win, right?
Yeah.
So if I can send a report to all my people and now I look like an absolute stud, I win. Everybody wins, right? So how do I click that button and give you your TopHap report on a monthly basis for your property that is so much better than a Zestimate or an AVM or any kind of home valuation? It's like, yeah, that's cool. We have that one piece. Like, here's the one piece, but here's the 47 other things that you might be also interested in based on data you can only get through me as your professional real estate agent.
Yeah, it's a couple of concepts we're throwing around. Right now, we can create this type of reporting with a custom request, where we would go through a discovery period and really understand what the customer needs and how often.
Yeah.
But what we're thinking about is creating a report that an agent can now put their customer list on a drip system and
Mhm.
show them what's going on within their community on a monthly basis. Here are the things that have
Right.
occurred:
Yeah.
who moved in, who moved out, if there's
Mhm.
new businesses coming in or not, if there's a increase in permit activity,
Yeah.
is
Like,
there a sign of a market slowing down or growing where you live, and other very informative things. So
Yeah.
and what would be cool too is if you had that kind of like, so if I'm somebody, so I'm sitting in Tampa, Florida right now, right?
mhm.
Everybody's moving to Florida. I'm like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Anyway, so if I had a report, if somebody would send me, so I know the same way that you said you cover the whole United States, if I had a report that said, here's not just like the best places that you think you should live, but here's all the most relevant to the scenarios that you live in right now. This city town is very similar to where you live because of this reason. So like you could add that layer of, hey, if you actually did want to relocate to another state, I'm going to give you everything that you could possibly need to know on other states based on your environment you're currently living in. That would be super dope.
So this is where our new AI functionality will shine. Right now,
It does do that.
you can create your own searches based on understanding your own market and looking for similar markets with those data points on your
Yeah.
own. But where this is all going, and this type of capability is probably 90 days away, where you can ask the AI, I live in Danville, California. Find me Danvilles of, you know, Florida, Washington, Texas,
Yeah.
everywhere. And it'll go out and find you lookalike neighborhoods.
That's
It'll
cool.
tell you, and
Yeah.
then it'll also be able to compare those neighborhoods for you, just like we compare homes. Our AI will compare these properties for you. It'll tell you what's different about them, what's the same,
Yeah.
and about schools, about zip codes, anything you can really think of. It becomes your personal assistant.
That's
That's
awesome.
launching in the next couple of weeks. What we've done is we built a ChatGPT plugin where ChatGPT users can now get access, unlimited data access. And if you guys are familiar with ChatGPT, natural language
Very.
model is pretty fun, right? You can now talk to it about real estate things powered by TopHap data. And what we've done over the last month is actually built our own in-house TopHap.ai environment where our users will be able to interact with the TopHap AI as if it's their personal assistant. Tell me
Wow.
who lives at this address, what kind of permits are being pulled at this address,
Yeah,
show
yeah.
me the parcel outlines. What about the schools?
But that you're calling that inside your app, right? So that's what you built
Yeah.
the ChatGPT integration, the plugins in the app, so that's how you get the
Mhm.
talk natural language. Okay.
There's just so many layers. It's a giant, awesome onion that as soon as you think you got to the core of it, this is all you get, there's another layer. Then when you get through that and your head's blown, you got another layer. And then you just go into a nuclear zone, you got another layer. I've messed around with it, but I gotta tell you guys, it's so powerful. Like you go down so many rabbit holes because there's so much fun data to find. Like I spent probably 2 hours on TopHap just inspecting my condo, Jackie's new house in Alamo, my parents' house, just going super dork status. Like I'm talking like I'm wearing taped glasses dork status. And it was amazing to come out of it because I came out feeling refreshed and knowledgeable. So if anybody asked me anything about those properties of that area, it was easy data to remember. I could rip it out of my brain. And I felt empowered. So I got to tell you that that's a legitimate thing I felt. So
Wonderful.
it's so much fun.
Thank you, Greg. And we call that a shortcut to market intelligence.
Yes.
And market intelligence, we define that as what agents evolve over time, right? The more deals that you do in a particular
yeah,
area,
sure.
the more familiar you are with it.
Yeah.
10 years into your career, you're a pro. You know what a more expensive street is in a particular neighborhood versus a less expensive street. And you know why, right? You
Yep.
know if the values go up as the elevation increases or if the values actually go down as the elevation of the neighborhood increases. On the west side, the values go down. In a place like Oakland Hills or Berkeley Hills, it will go up because of the nice views. Here, everybody wants walkability. Push the baby stroller down to downtown. They don't want to walk
They
down the
do.
hill,
They
right?
do.
So it's this market intelligence, this shortcut to market knowledge is one of the value propositions that we offer to our agent users. You can now be a nationwide real estate professional, not one that is hyper localized to the little 5 square mile radius that you're working within, maybe 10.
Do you
So
understand the power of what you just said? You just took the chains off people mentally if they're paying attention. No longer, because a lot of folks, and this includes me, Nick and I, you and I have talked about this off air a billion trillion times, is the fact that once because every year you're told to niche, 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 niche. Get into a niche, that's where the riches are, right? But what you just said was the opposite. And you have the ability to, stand up to that, saying, I'm not just your local agent, I'm your national real estate professional. And they're like, okay, prove it. You're like, great. What are you looking for? Where are you looking for it? Here, these are your options. These are the addresses. Here's the list. Go take a look at them. Tinkerbell.
Yep.
See, told you. Now listen to me. Let's go.
You have a cousin moving to, Dallas, Texas. You can now help them assess an area to move into.
Yeah.
Being
Well,
from California.
we just found out there's going to be a new home in Tampa available.
Yeah.
So
I have a question on the app, right? So if the goal of sharing an app to one of your consumer like up to this point, you would share maybe your personal MLS app, maybe you have like one home or something like, and you share that to your consumer. Every call to action in the app is to connect with the agent, call the agent for more info. Like you're still perceived as the resource with the most info. You give people TopHap, now they have more information than the agent even knows. So is there, I'm putting my other hat on, my like opposite of this awesomeness that we just talked about for 40 minutes. How do people inherently get back to the agent if they have all the information in the palm of their hand? They don't really need the agent anymore, right? Or is there still calls to action in the app to, hey, let the agent know that you're interested in this property? Is there any kind of two-way feedback? What does that look like?
Great question. I like to use the cooking analogy. right? You guys are master chefs, and I'm just an innocent, foodie. You could give me your recipe for the best dish, right? Written out.
Hmm.
Half of it I won't even understand, and if I
Right.
try to make sense of it, right, and put it together, it is not going to taste like what you would put together. So
Right.
there's agents have an ability to process data in a very special way because they understand how data really flows within their environment. So what I mean by this is a consumer can see that this home is located in the hills of a specific location, but they don't understand why their specific home in the hill is cheaper than the one that's just maybe an eighth of a mile away in the flats with a flatter lot. So you not only need to have the power of the data, you need to be able to understand how to translate it,
Interpret, right?
interpret it.
So
Correct.
if you're a doctor reading an X-ray is different than you reading an X-ray,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So there's
I'm
always
sorry
going
I
to
made
be.
doctor. I know every realtor says same amount of money as a doctor. That's always like the cliche real estate agent thing. Sorry. But yeah, that was just what came to mind.
No worries. So there's always going to be a very small percentage of the prosumers, as we call them. Those are the data, hungry, very intelligent, individuals that'll sit there and they'll just geek out at this information and are
Yeah.
able to make some sense of it. But for the majority, they really just want to understand that the real estate agent is competent, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And another example that I like to use, when there's always a debate between a potential listing agent and a customer, right? Or a potential buyer and a customer. And the debate always is your opinion versus their opinion.
Hmm.
Well, your opinion is probably more intelligent as the real estate professional because you have a lot more data. They're maybe buying their second or third home. You've represented 30, maybe 300.
Hmm.
But that tension is always there, right? So the art of the conversation as a professional is to almost talk them into believing you, right? Well, when you spice up that conversation with data and data visualization, so now your opinion, right, is now powered by a visual representation of the topic you guys are discussing. It becomes opinion versus data, right? And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
will win.
Hmm.
So when you can show them a map and you can turn on the elevation layer and you can show all of the recent sales on the map and you can say, you see how the elevation's going up and how the prices are coming down the higher you go.
Hmm.
This is what I'm talking about,
Mm.
So um, opinion versus opinion or data versus opinion.
Yeah, that
That's
right there
awesome.
is one of the bigger takeaways because there is always that, well, my house is the best house attitude with every seller. And I'm selling my condo, guys, and I gotta tell you, when I'm getting my house ready for sale, I'm like, fuck, I got a damn good looking place. I got the best house here. I'm like, God damn it, I'm a typical seller. But with this data, and let's say I wanted to sell, I got a one bed, one bath, 909 square feet. Love this damn little thing. Just my little castle in the sky, right? But there is only so much equity you can squeeze out of a property at any given time. And you have the competition out there. So no matter how much you like your home, how much you put into it, you got to look at what the market is talking to you for about because the buyer's only going to pay for what the market's going to allow. You can't just say, well, my condo is worth $10 billion. Well, Mr. McDaniel, you're in a one bedroom, one bath. That's a little unrealistic. This comes in with stats behind it saying, this is what I mean when I say we need to price it at X, Y, and Z, not $1 billion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not, again, opinion versus data. This is the data. This is the market. It's just not gonna.
Correct.
It's almost a bulletproof shield going in against someone who's super analytical because they can tear the report apart and have a blast. Come out at the end of the day, you're smelling like roses.
I want to give you guys an example, and it would be much easier to visualize this example on TopHap. Just use it as a demo, but picture this, right? You have Stone Valley Oaks. Greg, you're
I
familiar
know
with
Stone Valley Oaks, yeah,
Stone Valley Oaks or Stone Valley, but if you zoom
little
out and
rosy.
you look at this main street, right, on the north side of the street, you have pockets of communities that were all built around the same time. So a
Hmm.
pocket of maybe 10 homes that were built 15 years ago, pocket of 30 homes that were built 30 years ago, another pocket, right? So subdivisions.
Yeah.
Now, on the south side of the street, you have a neighborhood that was originally built all in the 40s, and over the years, people have remodeled their properties, right? So when you look at the colors representing age of homes, you have a lot of conformity and similarity up above, and you have colors all over the place down below because
Mhm.
the color will represent, a higher low data point. And when you are in conversation with your consumer or a potential seller that has a home for sale down below in a neighborhood that is widely different in age of properties, and they're trying to pull comps from across the street in a neighborhood that's been built 10 years ago, and just because the size of the property matches and the size of the lot, you can actually visualize and show them why those comparables in that neighborhood are not a good comp for your property because they're all built around the same time. And you can visualize that with just one button.
Well, I'll say it for the 10th time. I've definitely not been using this app to the highest and best levels. Good Lord. Smack. Bad McDaniel. This is obvious. We're going to have Anton back. We're running up on a
Yeah,
time
for
level
sure.
here, guys. And if we talk anymore, your heads are going to explode. We don't want that. We want you to go out there and get a hold of Anton and get a hold of his team. Get in this ecosystem of TopHap. Take a look at it. Kick the tires. Now, here's the cool thing. I don't make a damn dime from TopHap. There's no affiliate agreement with TopHap with me or Nick. We're
I
doing
want
it
one.
because
I
it's
want
shut up,
one.
Nick. Nick, you greedy bastard, shut up. We do this for the people. Okay.
Yeah.
But go take a look at it. Download the app TopHap Explorer. Just mess around. They got some great features. Staff is phenomenal. Very easy to communicate with. And take a look at this and see how it could impact your business. I personally am using this system and have been, and I'm going to step up my game significantly with a lot of these different tools. And next time we talk, Anton, I'll be able to give you some success stories.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let me clarify a couple of things really quick.
Please.
So we have three ways for a real estate agent to digest, to type TopHap, utilize it. Number one is the app, TopHap Explorer. This is the companion app, as I mentioned earlier, which has limited functionality but still very powerful. Then there's tophap.com. This is when you have your laptop, your iPad open, you're ready to do some serious research. You go to tophap.com. And what we're launching in a week or two, but I'll give you access to it now, you guys, is tophap.ai. And this is this ChatGPT type of environment. Start asking it questions. It's a limited data set and it's limited to what you can ask it, but over the next 60 days, it's going to grow into something very, very comprehensive. So ask away, because every time you ask a question, the AI itself logs it. And if it doesn't have an answer, it logs that as well. So we can go ahead and make sure that next time you ask the same thing, the answer is there.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Let's do this. Nick, give us some final thoughts, and then where people can get a hold of you and a color for the bow on the show.
Final thoughts are: we are in a very competitive market. There are hundreds of thousands of agents at this point exiting because they can't produce enough business to stay in business. And I can't think of a better way. And this is coming from somebody who has a really good product that's artificial intelligence and Facebook ads and lead generation. But there's only so much you can do from a lead generation standpoint to stand out, right? You have to spend a lot of money to stand out in the market. The other way to stand out in the market is to niche yourself as a specific thing. And why not niche yourself as the absolute authority and expert on all things real estate in your market? And I think the way that you can do that is with TopHap. I'm really interested in diving into it a little bit more. If I was a real estate agent making videos right now, building my brand, talking to my people, it would be based around the knowledge and expertise that I have versus other agents in my market. And I don't ever disparage anybody, but I know more about the Tampa Bay market than most people because I've had a real estate license since 2005. TopHap is your shortcut to that. You could get a license yesterday and have almost as much information as me having a license since 05. So that's really scary and really cool at the same time. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. As far as myself, get a hold of me at leadmax.ai. You can book a call with me if you're interested in Facebook ads. If you're tired of paying marketing agencies to run Facebook ads on your behalf or setup fees, My solution is a one-stop shop, so you can launch your own ads that are proven by me. I've run across the country since 2017, and then we also have our own artificial intelligence that books appointments for you at a price that you won't believe. So go to leadmax.ai and check it out. And I think the color for the bow on the show, I'm going to go with like peach, because I think my brain exploded. I think you can probably see some of my brain leaking out of my ear right now. So
it did. There's a mini explosion.
Yeah.
There was a dirty bomb in Florida. It was Nick's brain exploding.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's Max with 2 X's, gentlemen and ladies.
Lead Max. Yep.
And we're going with the peach color on that one. Anton, give us some final thoughts here, some takeaways, and then a color for the bow on the show, please. And where people can get a hold of you.
Color, let's do blue.
Okay.
My contact information is Anton at tophap.com. That's TOPHAP.com. And, my final thought is the role of the real estate agent is changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Zillow came in, 20 years ago almost, and took away our responsibility of providing available homes for sale to our buyer. And since then, not much has changed, right? But technology is evolving, AI is here. So in my opinion, the agents that will survive over the next 5 years or so are the data-driven agents, are the true market experts, and not just their own market, any market, that are able to have these type of very direct discussions with their potential buyers and sellers, using data as the background for their assumptions, assessments, and advice. So, which is, in my opinion, which is phenomenal, right? We need to provide our buyer community with a lot more market knowledge and expertise.
Yeah, we really do. And going to one place, it's sometimes it's intimidating to kind of hunt and peck and look around. You don't know if you're getting the right information from one site to another. Maybe you're embarrassed because you don't want to look like a fool to ask a simple question in your opinion. This program gives you the ability to ask the questions to the keyboard, and the keyboard will then give you the answers, and then you can grow your knowledge set in your marketplaces that you choose to work in. My final takeaway on this is that we are scratching the surface on the ability for getting very comprehensive data literally in your pocket, on your smartphone, on your desktop or tablet for the full-blown version. I encourage you guys to go take a look at it. It is really fun to play with. And you can get some of these reports, like Nick, what you were saying, building videos, getting the different reports, do some green screen videos on Instagram, pushing those out there, showing that you're a market master. Endless opportunities here, and I love the idea of being able to take the TopHap and program and bring it over onto a CSV file, and being able to sparse out that very, very quickly with the data you already have in your program. So we're putting a peach and a blue bow on this show. Anton, dude, thank you for coming. Talk about a knowledge bomb drop. That was some good shit. We went for 58 minutes, and you could probably go for another 2 days without taking a break. So guys, go back, rewatch, reach out to Anton. Nick, I have launched 2 coming soons with Lead Max with double X's. .ai. It is impressively simple. It's 3 clicks
Double
and bam,
X,
dude.
I like that. Yeah.
Triple click, baby. Triple click that bitch. Click, boom, moneymaker. So go check him out. Go check out Anton at TopHap, guys and gals. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. We cannot do this show without you. So please like, share, subscribe, follow, stock in a good way. All of us. And guys, be well. Have fun. Till next time. Peace out, ninjas. We gone.
Have a good one, everybody.